Hello world. I hope this video finds everybody doing good under the sound of my voice. I hope it finds you blessed and highly favored. And if you live to see today, I hope you thank God for today. And we gonna live it day by day. Hello world. Today I want to touch on the topic I think everybody could relate to. And I hope I hit home with this one. You know, the topic I chose was like crabs in a bucket. You know, And the reason why I chose this topic, because I think that every man and woman can be caught up in this category. They can be in the bucket at one particular time. And I won't make it plain to some people. How to get out the bucket. But I'm from down south. I'm from Louisiana, and we like to boil crawfish, we boil crabs, we boil shrimp, and it's different things when you see those crawfish, like we say mud bugs, we see them, but I like to boil crabs too, and when I boil crabs, I watch people boil crabs. It's a process before you put them into the pot, because you gotta you probably put them in a bucket or some kind of form of clean bucket to where you want to make sure you want to clean them, purge them, that we might say. You might want to clean the crabs off and make sure before you boil them that they don't have any excess things on them or, in them. So while you cleaning the crabs, I don't know if people observe things like I do, but when you cleaning the crabs and say, Vince, you have them in a bucket and you cleaning them real thoroughly, because before you put them into the boiling pot, first of all, you want to clean them. So I kind of monitor the crabs when they're in the bucket, and if you fill that bucket up to a certain degree, you're gonna have it's a little leverage before the top, and I kind of see how those crabs behave in that bucket, and I see how they just try to get to the top, how they try to get to the top, and how they try to get to the top, and the other crabs can see them just about to get on out, and he'll pull him back down. It's something to see. If y'all know if you down south, you boil crabs, or wherever you might be, if you boil crabs, it's something to observe, because none of those other crabs want to see that other crab get to the top of the bucket to escape. And I want to compare that to real life, because, if you watch those crabs, there's a bunch of crabs in the bucket, but ain't too many of them gonna get out. It might be very few to get out. I want to just prepare you how to get out the bucket, but I do know that when you watch those crabs, is a lot of fighting going on. And it's like, don't nobody want to see nobody reach the top. And the minute you reach the top, that other crab, he just gonna pull you back down. And, I want to compare those crabs to real life, because in real life, some of those crabs, they may have names. They may be Peter, Paul, John, Walter, or they might be Kim, Karen, or, they might be Patricia, or they might have names, because, you place those crabs in the bucket, and, I'm Dexter, in a minute Dexter get to the top of the bucket, Paul or Patricia might pull me back down, because don't nobody want to see nobody out the bucket. And I want to compare it to real life, because, and I chose the names because you got some people that that you think dearly of. That, y'all, it's like that they might be considered your friends, your people that you really deal with and mess with, but it's like when if you place both of you in a bucket, and y'all were fighting to get out. Not too many of them gonna help push you up out the bucket. They gonna try to pull you back down. And I compare it to real life because, sometimes when we trying to get ahead and trying to make major accomplishments in life, and we trying to do things to better ourselves, or some certain individuals, certain one of our friends and people that we deal with, they like those crabs in the bucket. When they can't stand to see you get to the top, they gonna be fighting with those paws trying to bring you back down. you know. And that's the example I want to make because, you know, sometimes like when I say like sometimes when you trying to make a major accomplishment, you know, those crabs in the bucket, they always trying to bring you back down to what the level they on. So, you know, I thought like, man, you know, even me, I don't have crabs to pull me back down in the bucket, you know. But I thank God because he allowed me just to fall back, analyze the crabs playing tug of war with one another. And, you know, seeing how they do one another. And he prepared me to make the escape, you know, because once I would just sit back and evaluate how they tug of war and how they pull each other down and not want to see the person out and or reach the top, you know, he allowed me just to be able to sit back and analyze it and, you know, study them. Because that's how life gonna do you. Because, you know, when God is for you and you got the king on your side, he gonna prepare you for the other crabs that's in the bucket. He gonna expose certain things that they do to one another to prepare you for the great escape. You know, so, and I chose the topic because, man, I see it happen a lot of times, even with myself. Because the minute you try to get to the top, that crab gonna pull you back down. And you fighting to get back up and he's steady pulling you back down. You fighting to get back up and he's steady pulling you back down. So, you know, God has a way of just making you stand down. Analyze the situation and look at the other crabs that's fighting to try to get out the bucket. And he's preparing you for the great escape. But he's going to allow you to see the other crabs have tug of war amongst each other before he help you escape. You know, so I want to make it plain to somebody today because it's like when God prepare you for the escape and he prepare you for to reach the top, can't no other crab get in the way. You know, and he gonna make you let you just analyze what they doing, and once they don't tug of war with one another and pull each other back and forth and pull them down, and then he prepare you for the great escape. Because once you seen them and everything they went through and trying to get out to escape the bucket, he'll prepare you to let them just do they go on their way and just until they like tire themselves out. And he'll prepare you for the great escape. Because when they like out of fuel and tired of trying to fight one another, he'll allow you to make those steps over some of those other crabs and allow you to reach the top and it just slide on out the bucket. Because, you know, he let you analyze things. He made you stand down for a reason so you could get a clear picture of what was going on. You know, so now he prepared you for the great escape and you was able to get out the bucket. You know, I'm the crab to get out the bucket because I thank God I'm lined up with the king and he'll prepare me for to get out of any situation, even the bucket. Because like, I know like we like crabs in the bucket. And I chose that topic because it's a deep topic because, you know, life can send us to act just like crabs, you know, and when you see other people trying to make it to the top, you tend to want to pull them down, you know, and, you know, God don't want us to be like those crabs in the bucket. He wants us to be able to help somebody, another crab, and push him up and elevate him so he can get out. Because we want, and then the other crab may find a way for us other crabs to escape, you know, but everybody ain't gonna reach the boiling pot, you know, but, you know, I just want to share that with somebody because, man, you know, I want to make it plain when I said what I said because sometimes you got to stand back. You got to get to the bottom of the bucket and analyze those other crabs that's trying to escape and just let them have tug of war amongst each other because eventually they're going to tire themselves out. And that's when you can make the escape. Because once they tired and can't really move because they don't fought amongst each other so long, he'll allow you to make levels and make steps over those other crabs and slide on out the bucket, you know. You know, and I just want to make it plain to somebody because, you know, when you got God and you lined up with God and you got the king on your side, you know, he's not going to allow you to play tug of war. He's not going to allow you to fight amongst the other crabs because he's preparing you himself because you don't need the other crabs to get out the bucket. But you might need to step on some of those crabs to get to get out of the bucket once they have tired themselves out fighting amongst each other. Because I'm gonna let God fight my battle. And I'm gonna make sure I get out the bucket because I'm gonna be lined up and linked up with the person that can help me escape. But I just want to make it plain. It may make sense to some people because I chose the topic because so many times though I see people that act like the crabs in the bucket. And I don't know if you ever saw the crabs in the bucket or you had never boiled crabs before, because those crabs, man, they just fighting amongst each other. They in that bucket. Everybody trying to get out, and then the minute you get to the top, he bring you back down. And I use life because us as people, whether you Jane, Paul, Peter, Kim, Karen, Patricia, whoever you might be, sometimes people can act like the crabs in the bucket. And I don't want people to act like crabs in the bucket, because I'm trying to make it plain so somebody can realize what I'm really saying is that, hey, we don't want to pull nobody back down. If we can't help a certain individual get out the bucket, we're not trying to pull them back down. And, we want to help somebody out the bucket, but I do know that everybody not going to be on the same things, because, if you're not lined up with the king, you're going to have that crab syndrome. You're going to be, you're not going to never want to see nobody reach the top. And I think that should never be, a thought that you might have, because you want to see everybody succeed. But if you're not lined up with God, you'll want to pull people back down. And, I'm just really trying to make somebody cross over, because it's impossible for not to make it. You have to be lined up with the king, because the king, he's going to make your thoughts clear. And he's going to alter every move that you make. And the reason why I say I chose the crabs, because when you line your life up with God and put him first and allow him to fight your battles, you'll get out the bucket. So I just want to make it plain, man. I just wanted to drop this on somebody because somebody needed it. And I don't want you just to going through life like the crab. I don't want you pulling people back down in the bucket. If you can't help him accelerate and get him out the bucket, because he might be willing to lift his paw out to you and say, hey, man, come on up. But if you had that crab syndrome, the way you constantly trying to pull a person back down, he may not be able to lift the paw back down to help you out the bucket. We got to be like the crabs that want to, when we get out, let him slide on out and the next person up, help lift him back up. That's the point I'm making. So I just want to share this with somebody, because, we like crabs in the bucket. Stop pulling your brother down. Stop pulling Kim. Stop pulling Paul. Stop pulling James. Stop pulling people back down in the bucket with you. You want to help them accelerate. And when you get to the top of the bucket and you on the edge, you can lay your paw back down to them and help them get out of the bucket too. So I just want to make this plain. It fell on my mind. I said everything that fell on my mind, I'm going to bring it, because we like crabs in the bucket, So I hope somebody got something from this. I just want to encourage somebody along the way to do something different than what you did yesterday. Call somebody and check on somebody that you hadn't checked on in a while. He might be like that crab that's struggling and can't get out the bucket. He might need your part to try to help lift him up out the bucket. So, I just food for a thought, and I just thought like I'd drop on this because, I always want to come with something different to just try to make people think and elevate their minds. And I thank God that I'm lined up with the king, because everything that I do, I'm not going to never stress him in everything I do, because it's impossible to make it without him. I do realize that. And I just want to suggest to somebody, if you got something out of this, hit the like button and subscribe, because like I said, I don't want us to be like the crabs in the bucket. When we reach the top of the bucket, I want us to extend our paws out to help somebody else out of the bucket, And I just want to encourage somebody to keep your eyes on the prize, which is him, the king, and I just want to encourage somebody to be blessed. Till the next time.